smilefm.co.za.
The honest truth met Benito Rogatini.
8 tot 10, Smile, 90.4 FM.
Thank you so much for your time. Now, to share insights on why the fear of being alone continues to haunt so many of us is relationship expert. She's an author. She's also a TEDx speaker. She's a mental health and gender-based violence and harassment advocate, Paula Quinsee. Paula, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you to you and the listeners. It's great to be here with you tonight.
A pleasure. How would you describe loneliness, Paula?
So loneliness for majority of the people is where they feel that they don't have any real meaningful connections or relationships in their lives with other people. And so feeling that there is something sort of missing in their life or that their life is empty and that they don't have any sort of substance when it comes to other people and relationships that they share their life with.
And how do our lives stoke this sense of loneliness? Or let me rephrase it, how susceptible are we to experiencing that?
So it's very easy and common for us, but I think where the confusion may come in is the difference between being alone and lonely. So it's a choice to be alone. So for example, today I've decided that I'm going to stay home and I'm going to read a book and I'm going to just chill and relax at home. That's a choice to be alone and on your own. Whereas with loneliness, it's really that disconnection from other people or people close to us, or not having any close, meaningful relationships or friends or family or significant other that we can connect with throughout our daily interactions.
And I would imagine that human connection, that ability to be able to connect with somebody, depending on one's circumstances, may have been severely tested under our lockdown, for example.
Most definitely, because all of our sort of freedom of choice was taken away from us. So our freedom of independence, to make our own decisions and our own choices, the freedom of movement to be able to come and go as we please, as well as our social interactions. So we couldn't go to gym, we couldn't go to our social clubs or forums or places where we socialized and interacted with other people. So we lost those connections during lockdown.
And how real are connections if one, for example, is so preoccupied with social media? Because that is also quite a tricky area, because we're engaging, we're having these conversations with our community. We may even be trying out dating apps as an example, but how real is all of these interactions? Does it not also, in one sense, just feed the sense of dislocation we may experience?
So it can definitely contribute to that. So even though we feel like we are connecting with others through our social interactions, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or dating apps, it's the depth and the quality of those interactions and that engagement with the other person where we really are able to share parts of ourselves, whether it's on a personal, intimate level, challenges that we're going through, being vulnerable, feeling like we have the support of the other person, as opposed to more sort of superficial conversations.
And us as human beings can pick that up, because we know if there is a meaningful conversation, if we're able to express what we're feeling, what our hurts are, what our expectations are, what our goals are. And if we find that we're not able to have those important conversations, I suppose we can have these superficial conversations, but at the end of the day, it's going to catch up sooner or later. Is there a link, do you think, Paula, as well, apart from human connection, with meaning and purpose?
Most definitely. So, relationships provide a support structure to us in different ways. It's the place or the people that we go to when we want to celebrate things in life, and it's the place and people we turn to when we're going through challenging times, and we want someone to lean into or lean onto, and that's where real connections come in, whether it's family or friends or partners or even peers in the workplace. And when we don't feel that we have those connections, it can contribute to us sort of feeling that empty void of feeling unfulfilled or not having any real significance or meaning or purpose in our lives.
What role does our upbringing play, Paula?
It plays a large role in terms of how we are taught to attach or have healthy attachment and connection when it comes to relationships. So being able to communicate effectively, being able to resolve conflict, being able to be vulnerable, being able to trust. We learn all of those things in childhood through our primary caregivers because that is the first primary relationship that we are exposed to and where we get a lot of our traits and behaviors and interactions from, and we carry that with us into our adult relationships.
And in those adult relationships, similarly, does society also play a role?
Yes, definitely. So, society often prescribes how we should interact or engage when it comes to our relationships and what's acceptable and unacceptable. And a lot of the times, we try and fit in because we want to feel accepted, like we belong somewhere. And, often relationships give us an identity as well. It's a place we go to, it's a place that we belong, and it's how we introduce ourselves as well with those titles. I'm a Mr. or a Mrs. or a father or a mother or a wife or a husband, and that identity gives us a sense of belonging and acceptance and that we fit in.
And we're heading towards a period of the year which traditionally can exacerbate one's sense of dislocation, that lack of human connection, loneliness. In which ways can we address this, do you think?
Definitely, coming up to the holidays and, people are talking about their plans and where they're going and, what they're going to be doing. And if you don't have any plans of your own or people that you're going to be connecting with over the festive season, it can, sort of drive home that sense of that I have no one and I'm alone and lonely. And so this is where you need to put in support structures for yourself in terms of creating opportunities where you can connect with other people. So setting yourself up with some sort of schedule where you can reach out and spend time with people. If you don't have people that you can access, then volunteering and doing things for goodwill can also make you feel better about yourself and that you're helping others. And, establishing sort of a routine or a structure where you're not stuck at home within those four walls, which can also contribute and drive home that you're alone and on your own.
And in terms of preventative strategies, we've all been through a tough year, 2022 certainly. I mean, we thought the once restrictions would have eased, that there may be a somewhat easy, if I can use that word in inverted commas, way forward. It's been anything but that. So I suspect that we also need to rest, desperately need to rest. How important is getting the healthy sleep, healthy rest over the holidays?
Look, those definitely contribute to our well-being, both mentally and emotionally. Disrupted sleep or very little sleep and also poor lifestyle in terms of diet and that kind of thing can contribute to our moods and our emotions as well as our energy levels. And so, living a healthy lifestyle, whatever that looks like for you and where you're at in your life, is important, and it helps us feel better about ourselves when we are in a much better space, both energy-wise and how we feel about ourselves on a health level.
Paula Quinsee, relationship expert. She's an author. She's a TEDx speaker. She's a mental health and GBVH advocate. Paula, how can our listeners follow you?
I'm on all those social media platforms, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and you can go to my websites, which is paulaquinsee.com or engagedhumans.com.
engagedhumans.com or paulaquinsee.com. That's QUINSEE.com. Appreciate your time and your insight. Paula, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and have a good evening to you, my listeners.
Is now a good time to get an eye?
Thanks so much, Paula. Thank you, and apologies for phoning a few minutes late.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me as a guest, and if I can help in anything in the future, please do reach out.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Will do. Thanks, Paula.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.